Now, God told us to go everywhere. So I wonder then why he would seemingly call so many missionaries to one country and none to the others. Well, in today's episode, number 44, we're going to talk about what I titled an overlooked command. We often see the Great Commission as our generalized marching orders telling us to go, but not where to go. That's because we misunderstand the word nation. If we accept it to be a synonym of the word country, then the Great Commission has long since been fulfilled until a new country is born. But when we understand that the word given by Christ was not country, but ethnos, which means a people group or a tribe or ethnic groups or clans, then we realize that our task is not yet finished. But after all these centuries, why? Out of 195 countries, 30% of all independent Baptist missionaries live in only 5. If I'm not mistaken, that would be number 1 is Brazil, number 2 is Mexico here, number 3 is Great Britain, number 4, a pagan country that has no knowledge of Jesus whatsoever, Canada, and number 5, Philippines. 30% of all our missionaries live in those 5 countries. Think about that for a minute. Why? Because so many missionary families are clustered together. 72 countries are without even one missionary family living in them. Why would God tell us to go into all the world, then only call us to a few countries? Well, for the most part, he calls us to a people, not to a country. And before you think I've become a heretic, let me explain what I'm saying. With 206 families, Mexico has the second largest number of missionaries of all the other countries of the world. Most, if not all, were trained to reach only the Spanish-speaking people living in Mexico. But scores of other ethnic groups are living there as well who do not speak Spanish. For example, 22% of the population, over 28 million people in Mexico, identify as being indigenous and not Mexican. That means they identify with the tribe they're born into, not the country they're born into. Of these 28 million souls, 64 languages are recognized as indigenous. Here's just a sampling of those languages here. But altogether, imagine this. Besides Spanish, there are 64 other languages spoken in the country of Mexico. Now, hold on. This number includes 17 tribal groups that have more than 100,000 people in them, and 47 other tribes or clans that have fewer. Yet for the most part, if some devoted missionary finds and evangelizes just one of these tribes, it's probably not because he was taught they were there. It's because he either stumbled upon them or heard of them and intentionally sought them out. Now, God told us to go everywhere. So I wonder then why he would seemingly call so many missionaries to one country and none to the others. Either many missionaries are not going where God intended them to go, or those God intends to go are not going. Also, though we go as missionaries in name, we almost always go as pastors in practice. It's difficult, even impossible, for a pastor to move from place to place continually. But Paul taught us that doing so is imperative for a missionary. How else will the entire world hear the gospel? Sending missionaries to act as pastors may seem like a good plan. It's just not God's plan.
It's logical that if a missionary serves as a sedentary pastor, he cannot plant new churches. So why is he there? What is his calling? What is he supported to accomplish? Why do you think missionaries cluster rather than going to more countries? List the 5 countries where 30% of our missionaries live. Answer: Brazil, 253, Mexico, 206, the United Kingdom, 112, the Philippines, 118, and Canada, 104.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode in our Understanding the Great Commission series. If you'd like a copy of the book, it's available in paperback, audiobook, and digital download. Just click the link in the description below. Thank you for watching.